Right. We are now live with Fanboy Modeling School.
Ooh. Shit's cracking off at no jumper.
What is it now?
House phone threw a soda on Adam. We might have to play that clip. And also, it looks like I missed some gaming news.
Well, we'll talk about it in honorables. Fanboy Modeling School will begin. Just come on. Hello and welcome to the Fanboy Modeling School. I am the Fat Mantis, now in HD, and I'm here with my man
Steve, real name, no gimmicks. My mic was on mute, also in HD.
figuring out his devices, but it wouldn't be a stream if shenanigans like that didn't happen on the regs. We are Fanboy Modeling School. You can only catch it here on YouTube. It's one of the few places I do an only stream on YouTube, one app, and that is Fight Juice Online. You need to like, share, subscribe, and of course, comment. We like those spicy comments up in there.
Spicy. What is going on, my brother? Shout out to Low, Shaolin Iceboxer, Princess Bex in the hizzy. How's everyone doing?
Bex, lovely. How are you? We've got Low who's saying, who else is horny for some DC news? I am very horny for DC news. Even though it's kind of like one of those gross horninesses, you know, when you find something repugnant, but you're still going to bang it.
What?
We'll get into it.
You mean when you're at the Pat's Dollar Night at a bar and you're just like, wow.
We've got Shaolin. He's just glad to see you all this evening. Yes, it is a lovely Tuesday night. And it has been a rough day, but streaming takes it all away. How have you been, my friend?
My brother, it was a relaxing day for me. You know, I was off from work. Unlike other people, I was.
Why don't you rub it the
fucker? Your boss is a real ass, man. What a dick.
But as you don't know, I am dealing with having to go back into the workforce, and so I'm adjusting to working like a peasant, and so because apparently my shit isn't as hot as I thought it was. I thought I could avoid working again, but apparently not. Shaolin says, I'm ready for Damien. I'm going just for that. Everyone's so anxious to get into the DC news, but we do have to do, I feel like we have to do our honorable mentions.
Absolutely. So last week, we covered, if it was last week or the week prior, who knows? We covered over on the No Jumper situation, House Phone, one of the mainstays on the show, one of the original contributors to that show, had been outed by his good friend and employer Adam in regards to having a relationship with a transgender person.
Porn star.
Yeah, adult film
athlete.
We're using all the PC terms tonight, folks. But here's the thing, right? So they have not really had a lot of communication, at least on air, and apparently just a second ago it broke that when they were finally in studio together, House Phone threw a soda in his face. Threw a soda in Adam 22's face.
It's so funny that House Phone in another YouTube, a different channel, after the fact, he was saying, it is what it is, man. You know, it is. He was acting like it's all good until he runs into him, and then it's not all good.
Yeah, no, you knew it wasn't all good, man. He was like, I'll kill you. So that's one honorable mention. Bex's favorite contributor from No Jumper, a pimp by the name of Sharp, former pimp, is going back and forth with academics. And usually when people go back and forth with DJ academics, it can tend to be a one-sided battle. Academics, believe it or not, is quite the wordsmith. He's extremely educated. A lot of people don't know this about him.
He's smart.
Extremely intelligent dude. But Sharp is also a very intelligent, articulate man. And so him and Sharp have been going back and forth, and Sharp gave him the business. So it was quite the read, as they say in the hood. He read him well.
Laney says, what up, Laney? We've also got Princess Bex says, nice top bun, Steve. Look at him. He's got the man bun.
Thank you.
I'm mad horny from some Damien myself, says Low. Then Rebeck says, Mantis, you look nice in your stripes. Thank you very much. And then we've got love from Laney, and then of course Bex is kicking it off with Yum Sharp.
Welcome in, Laney. Welcome in. Go ahead, brother.
I was gonna say that originally I thought this could be one story, but we have so many big stories. It's gonna be hard to fit everything in today. So I had to detract this one now. For all you who know, Dana White always said he would never do business with jokers like Logan Paul. They actually specifically asked him about Logan Paul. And then suddenly yesterday, Logan Paul tweets, he says, tomorrow, me and Dana White have big news for you. And I said, oh no. Oh no, this is not
This wasn't even on my radar. I'm the MMA guy. I'm the sports combat sports guy.
I thought you'd be on this because I was like, oh my god, what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? And then what it is Logan Paul's energy drink is going to be the official energy drink of the UFC. So thank God it was not what we thought it was going to be. And apparently he owns Prime, an energy drink, and so they're just going to be branding stuff with Prime on it. So it's
so here's the thing, right? Logan Paul's got a fight coming up. Obviously, he joined the PFL. I forget what that's an acronym for, Professional Fighting League or something like that. But they are another MMA organization, and they actually go old school MMA where they have brackets and it's $1 million cash payout after a tournament.
Oh wow!
But he's signed to them now. But he's also going to be fighting Tyson Fury's little brother. They actually met up in the ring. You know, some shoves were had. Tyson Fury's younger brother, Tommy Fury, I believe his name is, smacked Logan Paul in the face. Logan Paul then went low, real low. Tommy Fury, his wife or girlfriend just had that. You know, they had their first child, and Logan Paul responds on the tweet of the picture of the new baby and the family, the happy family, black and white picture, very classy.
Okay.
Baby was born just in time to watch her dad get his ass whooped.
I like that. Me like you that. And then another. Do you have another honorable mention? Because I got one more than that.
No, go for it.
Candace Owens.
Oh,
so Candace Owens. Last week, as you guys all know, Crowder was running his mouth, and then a lot of people, particularly from the Daily Wire, and I gotta say, I think it's tacky. They chimed in. They jumped on Crowder. And so she starts calling him an idiot and all this stuff. And so I don't know if you guys know who Nicole Arbor is. She's a wannabe comedian. She was a YouTuber. I think she still has a YouTube channel. She's the white girl who did a parody of This Is America.
Okay.
She's and she just does really bad humor on the internet. She's not funny, but she's also known for a drama. She's dated pretty much every professional YouTuber.
Right.
And then later on made a video about how they abused her, and then she'll cry on camera and try to roll with that drama.
It's what I plan on doing to bolster my career. In fact, I'm gonna allege some things against you, like working with Mantis every day was horrible. He would drink in the studio and beat me.
Well, that is true. So I'm not gonna do that. But yeah, Shaolin says Nicole Arbor is disgustingly unfunny. I wish she would just go the fuck off. So what it is she loves to jump on other people's algorithms. So because everyone starts trashing Candace Owens because of her trashing Steven Crowder, like they're defending Steven Crowder, she makes a video and she's like, I once was interviewed by Candace Owens and she was abusive to me and mistreated me. And she starts doing it to Candace Owens.
Yeah.
I laughed my ass off, man. Oh, it's crazy. So that was one. And then my final honorable mention is about Hotep Nation. Are you a Hotep Nation guy?
No, but whenever I hear Hotep, whenever I hear Hebrew Israelite, Nation of Islam, or the Black Church, my ears always perk up. What's going on?
So there's a YouTube channel called the Hotep Nation, and these guys are funny. They're Black conscious guys, but they're funny they know they're funny.
Right. Okay.
So they do an annual award show where they actually dress up in tuxedos, and they do a 2-hour YouTube video that they drop called The Grifties.
Okay.
Honoring the greatest grifters of our time. Okay. Now, down, guys, in the video description, I left a link to this year's Grifties. I watched this year's Grifties, and I watched it for all 2 hours. It had me bawling. And, they'll be like the nominees. They'll even have like YouTube fake celebrities introduce the things, and they're like, the nominees are. And like, they hit up everybody, man. It was hysterical.
That's like Tariq Nasheed's Coon Awards. Are you up on Tariq Nasheed's Coon Awards?
I didn't know he had Coon Awards, but I need to watch them now.
Freaking amazing. He showed up to Jesse Lee Patterson's show to do an interview and brought his Coon Award with him.
Yeah, so I invite you all, guys, go down to the video description and check out the Grifties. The Grifties are hysterical. It's a good time, and you're gonna love all the people who won awards. It's funny, like everyone who's on my radar, and a lot of the people we talk about on this show were all up in there, so they're hip to what's up.
Yeah, you know what, man? I gotta say I'm sorry right now, right? I am sorry because I missed a bit of gaming news that just came out. So on IGN right now, and probably the official Sony PlayStation YouTube channel, the new trailer for the new Spider-Man game, the proper Spider-Man sequel, after the amazing DLC that we all paid for, which was the Miles Morales game, which, no shade, that shit was amazing. The story was amazing. They took a throwaway character like the Tinkerer, and made it make sense, right? It was great. I loved the game, had a good time. But there's a new trailer out for the game, man. The game is on track to be released on its scheduled release date, which, of course, I don't have that information for you. Let me tell you why this is big, Mantis, right? There have been many great Spider-Man games, and they've been unsung. But the Spider-Man game on PS4 that came out is the Spider-Man game. And this is the official sequel, and this is going to be a big deal because it's going to be a 3-player game, not 3-player co-op, but you're going to be able to use 3 characters, right? Okay. So you're going to be able to use Spider-Man, Miles Morales, and of course the ultimate version of Venom. They kind of spun that in, which is Harry. Harry is the first carrier of the symbiote in the Ultimate Universe. They have poured, if I'm to believe the developers, Insomniac, they've poured a lot of great time into this game. Bug fixes, character development, story arcs, all that type of stuff, man. And I got to be honest with you, man. I'm a little piffed that this alternate universe Spider-Man won't be making a cameo in the multiverse story. Because this is a great... Did you play the original Spider-Man game on PlayStation 4?
No, but I did play Miles Morales.
Dude, Peter Parker has never been so accurately represented in medium the way he's represented in this universe.
I've definitely seen a lot of cutscenes and stuff like that. And
it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing.
Quality product. I jumped on that bandwagon late. As you know, I got a PS4 very late in the game.
Right.
And that was allowed me to play Miles Morales' rendition of it. But I didn't play the game proper.
Right. The game proper is amazing, man. And I just got to say, I'm jazzed about this, man. I'm jazzed for games coming out, man. I'm jazzed for Spider-Man coming out. I'm really looking forward to Jedi Survivor. Even though I'm having some issues, the more I watch the actual fight gameplay, I haven't played it, obviously. I'm having some issues, right? I don't know if it's going to be as great as the first one.
What, emotional issues?
Yeah, I'm emotional, spiritual, political.
Please elaborate.
Like, I'm just worried that this is gonna die the curse. That referring to Jedi Survivor, the curse of the sequel. The sequel game is a big deal in in the gaming industry. Can it keep up?
It's the same with movies. Like it's most sequels suck, and it's actually a rarer thing that the sequel ends up being good.
Right. Absolutely.
So it's like you struck gold once. Can you do it again? And very often they can't do it again.
No, they can't. But I have faith in Insomniac, man. And I think this is they're only gonna improve on what already worked and introduce some new things, man. And that's my honorable mention. I want you guys to know, you people, all of you human beings.
What do you mean, people?
No matter what happens, I will be streaming Jedi Survivor every night when I play it, whether people show up or not. And don't expect me to entertain you. I'm just going to be talking to myself, trying to figure out puzzles.
And I will make the same claim. There's 2 games I wish to stream on our channel this year, and one is Hogwarts Legacy, J.K. Rowling's game, and of course Transformers Reactivate. And so,
okay. I was headed there, but I do want to give you a big shout out on your Reactivate coverage over on the voice of the Fat Mantis, man. I didn't know anything about this game. Yeah. Put me on, my brother. What's going on? Because I'm a looter shooter type of guy, man.
Okay, yeah, it's a looter shooter, which is funny because they had first been developing for years Transformers Universe, which was like an MMO, and it even went to beta, and they just decided to scrap it, and they're like, it's not good enough in quality. And so this is why there hasn't been a proper, like a good Transformers game out for a while.
Right.
And so they've just been working on this, and people speculate. They said 2023. They're speculating it's going to come out around June, around the time of the movie, because that would be a good time to release it. And it does look very Destiny-esque, you know what I mean? But they're Transformers and stuff, and so it should be a good time, you know.
Man, listen. I don't know if you're up on it, man. One of my first game I played. No, I'm sorry. Second game I played on my PC when I built Margaret Thatcher over here, or I should say, when I had Margaret Thatcher built for me.
Yeah.
This old bitch, she knows what she's doing. Was The Division 2.
Okay.
Arguably one of the greatest looter shooter games ever made. Short on content, but amazing. But when I heard you say, and I watched the video and made sure I gave it a thumbs up, make sure you support the Fat Mantis over on Voice of the Fat Mantis. Transformers as a looter shooter really appeals to me.
Yeah.
And that appeals to me, man. I'm in for that type of bullshit.
It's the perfect way to translate the Transformers, basically, right?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Let's blow shit up.
Let's get Michael Bay with it.
Yo, let's not get Michael Bay with it. Don't get me started on Bay.
Those movies made no sense, but they made so much money.
It's ridiculous, and they make no sense. And yeah, the other day I rewatched some of them, and I'm like, this is just it. It was just idiocracy put on screen. But
bro, it's so bad. Real quick, I just want to acknowledge Dragon Lady. I see you said I have to go. I'm in a lot of pain and may have to go to the ER. Please, if you are in any real physical pain or danger, get to the doctors really quick. We'll be praying for you.
You're in our prayers. We love you, Dragon Lady. Be safe. Thank you for stopping in. Lowe says, going back to the some of our, sorry guys, we had to go quick with the honorable mentions. We didn't have time for full conversations. The Daily Wire / Crowder tiff is so dumb, it's ultimately pointless. It is so stupid.
Yeah.
That $100 million corporation or company is having a fight with a YouTuber publicly. It's so childish and idiotic.
Stupid. Very stupid.
Lady says, oh, that's amazing. Lowe says, Insomniac always does a great job. Most game sequels should be at least improve on the gameplay.
Yeah.
Yay, Hogwarts, says Lowe. Absolutely. That's what he said last time. Says,
you know what, Beck? Stop hating. Listen, here was the problem with God of War Ragnarok and streaming it, right? The first night was a disaster. The second night, I was so pissed that I got stuck in a puzzle. I ended the stream early. I was like, God damn it, there's too much pressure. So it's like trying to bring your girlfriend over to your families for the first time, right?
No, but I agree with what you said in terms of forget trying to entertain the masses. Just play your game and babble and just occasionally look at chat. You know what I mean? But you don't think about it entertaining anyone. Just enjoy your game.
Yeah,
if you're having fun, we'll have fun, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I want to jump out the window a little bit as we get into the main topics. So you let me know where you want to go first, because I'm ready to jump in, because I know you and I are going to have a rough night tonight on two topics for sure.
Okay.
Wow. We have not had a public argument in quite some time. We're about to relapse in a real motherfucking way.
I hope you're ready. I hope you are ready.
Hell, Matt, welcome to the chat.
Mad Cat, what's up? So in order to do this, we're gonna share a little thing, right? We're gonna share. Sorry. And we're gonna share something.
Any second now.
Whatever, bro, ham. At least I wasn't on mute. At least I wasn't on. Okay, so let us do this. Blammo,
DC.
Behold,
the DCEU.
Real quick. So we got enough room.
DCEU release slate. There it is, baby. There it is. You said he didn't have a plan. The man has a plan.
I think this proves that he doesn't have a plan. And welcome in, Matt Katz. Love you, brother.
Listen, Linda. Listen. I'm telling you right now, this was not Kevin Feige level rollout. Obviously, I felt like I was talking to you on a stream and you're just announcing that, what's going on for the holiday event, but which is still high quality.
I'm going to mock the hell out of James Gunn right now. So homeboy basically won. His presentation skills are less to be desired. He literally
his first time. His first. What? How well did you do your first time? Huh?
no, but I'm just saying you could at least practice. He looked like he was a bad TikToker. Where he's like, yeah, we got this guy named Superman and he does stuff. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, he didn't. We were waiting for a high end presentation, and he just gave us like a little. He might as well have been on the toilet while he was doing it.
Right. Okay.
Would you agree?
No, I didn't. I don't agree.
Oh, Jesus. Okay. So then, his choices of things and some of the moves he's making are just so nonsensical. Like the first one I got to point out, which is the first one he talked about of the newer stuff. He points out Creature Commandos animated series.
Right. Okay.
That is a comic book where Frankenstein, the Bride of Dracula, and a bunch of other monsters from classical monster stuff are a team of commandos.
Copy. Listen, okay, so that one I wasn't jazzed about. Let me just give you my opinion on the overall presentation. I love that he addressed the out of continuity properties like the Joker, the Batman, the Joker sequel, the Batman 2, Teen Titans Go, and the other one I can't see right here. That's fine because I didn't want those things mixed in, to be honest with you, unless they were going to be mixed in proper. What is it? Oh, Superman and Lois, right? Which I have not watched, but I heard is amazing.
It is amazing. It's very good. But I guess he was giving people faith that they were keeping it around, right?
Right.
And so then the next thing he decides to do, and Shaolin says, I can't believe that they actually have the authority on this list. I can't believe either, but it's amazing, and that's the best thing I've heard out of it. Shaolin says he's giving us the best Robin, though. That doesn't tickle your fancy. He's not the best Robin. Dick Grayson is the best Robin. I love Damian, but Dick Grayson is the greatest. But I actually I need a theory craft on this.
Wait, hold up. Before you theory craft, put some respect on Dick Grayson's name. So after DC Comics, the publication, the thing that we all fell in love with. Well, I've never been a lover of DC, but I appreciate. Put some respect on Dick Grayson, aka Robin, preferably known as Nightwing now. He is and will be the new centerpiece for the Justice League. Did you know that after Dark Crisis?
Well, you're saying in the comics?
In the comics, yeah.
No, I didn't. But I wonder if they're doing synergy with what they're doing with us. Oh, look, it is Public Friend.
Oh, Public Friend.
Pubs, how are you? It's been too long. Good evening.
We stand Pubs.
Topics tonight. Just wanted to say hi and see your faces. It's so great to just see you in chat. I hope you're living the dream. I know you Cali people usually live the dream. You just hang out on the beach all day, right? Hang out with this harbor seal.
No one in California can afford that except for the people who moved elsewhere, became famous, and then now they live in California. I just want to know, when did you become such a hater, right? When did you start sipping the haterade? When did we switch?
I think it was when we started this podcast.
Huh?
I think it's when I started working with you. Matt says, I think this works great for animation, and Gunn is writing, and I'm a fan of his writing. I feel you're a fan of his writing, but here's my ultimate general feel of the whole thing.
Right.
There was nothing that really blew people away. I'm a huge Authority fan, so I that blew me away. But I think most people are like, "What's that?" And so it wasn't like the way Feige does it. The way Feige comes out and he's just like, "I'm gonna give you Secret Wars," and then the audience goes mad. There's nothing in here that isn't very like standard. Very, he's like, "I'm gonna do a Superman movie," and guess what? He's gonna be on a farm. Okay.
It was mid in that regard, but remember, Kevin Feige didn't start off as Kevin Feige, right? They had to build to that. They had to build to the whole, and don't forget who Kevin Feige's representing. It's Disney. They're like, you come correct or you don't come at all, right? like Disney's
right,
like,
that's absolutely true. And as you saw from the old CEO, that's exactly what happened. He did not come correct, and they hauled his ass out like in the middle of a presentation. Right? Like he was.
But I do like the continuity slate. I love that James Gunn is stepping in day one, right? Stepping in day one with the slate, explaining how we're going to deal with a lot of continuity issues. So if we look at, we got Shazam, we got Flash.
Right. You're looking at the top bar. Okay.
Yeah.
So we got Flash, we got Shazam. He praised Ezra Miller in his thing. I don't know. I guess pedos stick together. Uh, he said Blue Beetle looks like a good movie. I'm definitely going to give Blue Beetle a chance.
Wait. You're taking away the drama. So we got Shazam, right? And this is very comic book esque, right? So, and it's very DC esque before they do their 15th Crisis event and relaunch everything, right? So we got Shazam, then we got Flash, right? We got the Flash coming out, and it's the Flash will lead to the universe reset, and then Blue Beetle surviving gets the red mark, right?
Well, it depends on how much he makes, probably, right?
Right. Is in continuity, but then we get to the friggin' drama. Aquaman is still in continuity, so we were all wrong. Unless there's something we're missing.
The Lobo rumors probably. I'm glad he didn't do that. That would have been too weird for me.
Right. Fuck Lobo.
Yeah, I do love him as Aquaman, and I will keep seeing Aquaman movies. And also, I like Momoa. Shellen says, "Oh, I respect him. He is the first, but I feel like he didn't come into his own until he became Nightwing."
I agree with that.
Yes, but so I'm old enough to have read. I mean, actually, I was a baby when those comics came out. But when I was a kid, I had back issues that were probably my father's or whatever. But I read Teen Titans from #1, the new Teen Titans, not the one from the 60s. Right. And so I saw him as Robin be the founding member of the Teen Titans and go from like Robin to the point where like Batman told him he couldn't be Robin anymore. He's like, if you don't work with me, you can't be Robin. And he had to find a new identity and become Nightwing. I saw all that. And I just like, he's just my man. He is absolutely my man. But I think even when he was Robin, he's the Robin that told Batman to fuck off. He's like, you aren't my father, fuck off. I love that. I have great respect for that. But in order to troll this, I need to wait till Steve is back so that I can... So now here's my next complaint. So Waller, right? And they announced this months ago, I loved it. I loved this idea for Waller.
Okay.
However, if they're sparing Waller, that means he's probably sparing the Suicide Squad. That means he's probably sparing Peacemaker because they all work directly with her, which means his wife and his friends all get to keep their jobs.
As they should. If I took over a company, you would get to keep your job.
There's no way I'd fire my wife. But what I'm saying is, here's what I'm saying. So he's the type of dude, and when I say I'm talking about James Gunn. He loves to go on the internet, hang out on Twitter, and when somebody is talking about him, he interjects himself. And one of the things I saw him interject in, somebody said, it's going to be crazy when he fires everyone else, but he keeps all his own projects like Suicide Squad and Peacemaker. Right. And he interjects and goes, I'm not doing that. Who told you I'm doing that? He is doing that. He's
100%. I didn't believe what he said. I knew for a fact this man, in my mind, subjectively, I knew he would not fire his wife, right? But I do have to say, Amanda Waller is a character that I feel like deserves a standalone show. I'm here for that ride, man. I'm here for that ride.
I'm here for it too. I'm actually totally here for it. Howdy everybody, says Public. Then we've got Shellen says, haha, I'm not mad at him for playing favorites. The Suicide Squad, the Peacemaker are fantastic. It's bad opposites, though. Yes, I do. But here's what I'm saying. I do agree with, unfortunately, YouTuber X, that I do believe you need to get rid of everything. Yeah, it's crazy. Actually, when I saw her video on this, I unfortunately, basically everything except for the Authority, because she doesn't know anything about the Authority, and she was just babbling about it, pretending like she knows it. But everything else she talked about, I was in total agreement with her. And I was like, uh-oh. So
here's the thing. Go ahead.
Here's what I'm saying. Do you honestly think they're going to find someone to be as good as a Superman as Henry Cavill?
No, right? And so let me agree with that right out the gate, man. Henry Cavill has what we wanted as fans, right? He has a care for the character and he has a care for continuity. He said all the right things. He wanted Superman to be the character of hope. I'm not a big proponent of the Boy Scout factor, right? I think it's the ultimate D12 roll. Like you roll it every time when you get the Boy Scout factor. It's bullshit.
Right.
But Henry Cavill was Superman, and he was the best Superman. Just like I think that Ben Affleck was the best Batman, and he just didn't get a fair shake because of people's opinion of Ben Affleck. But I will step into it, and I want to see what James Gunn is going to do with the new Superman, right? So officially now with this rollout, we got some things that if you're reading in between the lines, James Gunn has addressed that we've heard a lot of content creators talk about. He's bringing us a Superman legacy story that is going to be Superman. Now, we don't know what he plans on doing with it. I don't think he's going to have us go through the recap of we're going to get the recap of the story, but not have to live through an entire prequel-esque vibe ever again. An origin story.
Man. I can't see the origin, man.
But fuck Superman, right?
Fuck Superman. Matt says, yeah, I'm looking forward to a Waller show. Do you think they're going to do the trial of Amanda Waller like YouTuber?
Oh, man, if they did that, that would be great.
I'll tell you why I think this.
Go for it.
His slate right here, it looks suspiciously like their old slate. What is Mantis talking about? Well, I'll tell you what. For the last decade, they've been talking about giving the Green Lanterns a show.
Right.
Now they claim this is a new one. And also, they were going to do a show called Amazon about the Amazonians. And mysteriously, Wonder Woman's getting a show. And I'm like, those are just shows you were going to make anyway. The last one we were going to make. And he's playing it off like these are new ideas, but they're not new ideas. And which is why I think they're still going to do what they're going to do with what they were going to originally do with Waller. They're going to play that out just with new actors around it.
Okay. And I agree with you 100%. But man, he got me. You know, I'm a slave to marketing. He got me when he said True Detective, when he said 2 Green Lanterns dealing with the problems of their beat. It's
amazing. It's amazing. I'm absolutely here for it. I'm so freaking here for it. And then they're going to do The Authority, which is this is weird. This one's weird because I love The Authority beyond belief. But remember, they're a dark version of the Justice League. And so it's weird that they're going to have The Authority before a proper Justice League exists. That's going to be weird, right?
Okay. Actually, maybe you and I won't have huge disagreements tonight because I agree with you on that, right? The Authority, it is very much up James Gunn's alley, man. But I will, it's tailor made for him. I'm intrigued. Maybe it could be the intrigue and all, as Jeff said in American Dad that I took. But I'm intrigued to see where James Gunn is going to take this whole thing. And I'm a slave to continuity. I'm not a guy who. I don't like a lot of bullshit, right? I don't like a lot of bullshit around me, but I do enjoy the fact that he's pulling all the continuity together. Buster Gold.
Oh, Booster Gold. Yeah, Booster Gold.
I'm sorry, Booster Gold. Booster Gold. I call him Buster because he is a Buster character.
Okay, I'll go with that.
But Booster Gold, right? Is there any part of your mind that doesn't think that Chris doesn't play this role?
Oh, Chris Pine? Yeah, no, I think that's true. I think Chris Pine is going to play this role. He's absolutely born for this role. And yeah, it writes itself basically.
Yeah, it does. It's easy. It's easy.
Yeah, it's on autopilot. It'll work. I think if they write the funny enough jokes, they'll pull that one off.
Right.
So then Matt says, totally agree with Mantis. Same projects, different names. Yes. And then he says, I'm nervous with the Green Lantern show because they use the word terrestrial, which means inhabitants of Earth. I'm not interested in space cops showing up on Earth. Lanterns belong in space. I agree with that. And that's what was cool about Green Lantern, that, he'd walk into a bar and it's like a Star Wars cantina.
Right.
And then he'll fight a dude and he's like, he should be able to take him in. And he's like, but I'm really a cyborg from Planet X. Like that kind of stuff is what you want from Green Lantern.
Right, but we do have to acknowledge that issues 1 through 70, and I'm paraphrasing, right? I'm using some hyperbole here. With Green Lantern is dealing with earthbound issues, right? It's not everything is a space-faring issue with Green Lantern. He's not Silver Surfer, even though Silver Surfer is their response to Green Lantern in Marvel.
Right. I will definitely take Green Lantern on either, on Earth or space, but I do like his spaciness,
Yeah, of course. It's time. I agree with Angry Joe in regards to this, right? It's time that we see Superman at his full Superman capabilities. If we're going to see Green Lantern, we need to see OP Green Lantern, right? If you really consider the power set. But I'm willing to go here with them. If they're going to give me a show with the Lanterns policing the world, right? but protecting it from external threats, I'm here for that shit. As long as it doesn't turn into a fucking long ass episode of Men in Black, I will not tolerate that shit. I fucking
yeah. They better not cast Will Smith as John Stewart.
Bro, listen to me.
I'll lose my mind.
Do you remember when I came back to LA to visit for the first time in like 10 years? And I met up with you and Zeus and Callahan, and we were supposed to go see a movie in New Rochelle. I could have got laid that day. And I'm like, I'm going to go hang out with the boys. When we went to go see fucking Men in Black 3, I was like, I'll never forgive these niggas.
Oh, yeah, no, I do remember
them for this shit. I don't want any of that in my life. I want Green Lantern, the Green Lantern show. Yes, give me some space-faring stuff. But I don't want any more jokey jokes, right? I just need something that's...
I think Marvel in general has killed subtle comedy and action films for a while for me.
Right.
I kind of just want my action right now. And that's just bros before hoes.
That's what I did, man. I'm the only one that ever lived by it in the Haven.
Ever.
Bro. The rest of you guys are like
bitches for you.
Yeah, the rest of you guys were always on that. Well, my girlfriend wants to go to panini bread today.
I mean, you have to compromise. But anyway, yeah, what I want to get into right now, what I absolutely want to get into is the pink elephant in the room. And this is where my not conspiracy theory, but I have a theory about everything. So,
wait, pink elephant?
Well, I don't know. I'm just saying words.
Oh.
Batman, the Brave and the Bold.
Okay, what's your problem with Batman, the Brave and the Bold?
Okay, no. Well, first, I'm going to tell you what my not problem is.
Okay.
Some people are like, "There's going to be two Batmans. There's going to be two Bruce Waynes." But the question is it going to be two Bruce Waynes? Because check this out. It's possible. It is absolutely possible by the verbiage James Gunn used that is going to be Dick Grayson in the Batsuit. I know a lot of you are like, huh? I'll tell you what's up, guys. Because he pointed out that Damian Wayne would be Robin. But then he says,
yeah.
And then he says, it's going to be based off of Grant Morrison's run on Batman.
Oh.
And when he wrote his version of Batman was when everyone thought Batman was dead, and Dick Grayson took over. And Dick Grayson was the original trainer. Well, not original. Obviously, the League of Shadows or Assassins was before him. But I'm saying he was the original one to turn him into Robin, Damian and Robin. And I was like, I wonder if he's going to do that. If he's going to have Dick Grayson be the Batman in that at least first movie before Bruce comes back.
Well, okay, so
that's all I'm saying.
Have you read DC Deceased, or have you read? I know you didn't read Doomsday Clock.
No.
So Damian does become Batman in Deceased, right? And he's a great Batman. But I've always felt that Dick Grayson was next up. But the problem is he does not fit the Batman criteria. He doesn't check the boxes, my brother. You know what makes Batman so great? It's because of how jaded he is.
No.
Dick Grayson, yes, it is.
No,
yes.
you're right. No, you are right. But here's what Grant Morrison's version of Batman and Robin, and that's what
great run, by the way.
So good is that he said, when you bring a little boy who's trained by assassins and who's a bloodthirsty killer, he's the edgy, fucked up one. So he brought in Dick Grayson to be like, he's the sane one. And they reverse roles, but they're wearing,
right.
It's like Batman's the good-hearted one, and Robin's the killer, and that's what's so clever about it.
I can dig it.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's your not problem.
And I see Matt also. He says, "I see now the problem." He says, "I see
think
no
Matt's
problem."
meant to say, "I see no problem."
No problem. It's a good point, Mantis. If Grayson is Batman, I'm going to be pissed pulling this Tom King thing. But here's the thing: remember, if you have two Batman or two Spider-Man, for example, you got to find a way to make them different.
Right.
You can't keep doing the same thing, or people.
Well, here's what you do. Here's what you do, right? Because who here will not acknowledge the fact that the Batman is not really Batman? Just like Christian Bale's Batman was not really Batman, nor was it really Bruce Wayne. All James Gunn has to do for this is land Bruce Wayne and Batman. So what does that mean, right? Batman is one of the most prolific fighters, if not the most prolific fighter in DC. We never saw that with Christian Bale. Can you tell me honestly, was there ever a point where you watched the Nolan films where you were like, oh, this is Batman? No, I was like, just some idiot
Uh,
running around in a
actually,
suit.
I actually had to show people action sequences to show them that Christopher Nolan isn't. It's so crazy. He's an action director that can't do fight scenes
at all.
He has fight scenes, and he literally just has the actor throwing bad punches.
Right.
Not even choreographed. It's kind of, he gets in the camera tight in close. You can't tell that they don't really know martial arts and know what they're doing.
Right.
And so definitely I love those movies so much, but they're definitely not good about showing Batman being a fighter.
No, not at all. Not at all. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
And then he says, pulling that Tom King BS. Yes, a lot of people have a lot of problems with Tom King, who is the writer of that Supergirl one they went in. But I want to keep talking about Batman before we move on.
Go for it.
Yeah, that was when Darkseid killed Batman and Dick took his Vandal. Yeah. He Omega beamed down. It's crazy. I mean, that's the most interesting project, but the question is, will James Gunn be in direct competition with another director at the studio? Will the two Batmans be fighting to be who's the cooler Batman?
Yes, and I guarantee you this, my friends, the winner will get to keep Batman. Right? DC right now, before they sell all their shit to Universal, according to YouTuber X, right? They are trying to figure out what is going to stick. If James Gunn's Batman comes out and it's $1 billion property or it's a monetary success, you can kiss the other one goodbye. 100%.
Oh, yes. There's
100%.
If anything, this is going to be like the battles of the Bobs at Disney.
Yes.
Like one is going to edge the other one over, and like James Gunn is going to knock Matt Reeves off a cliff. I feel you. It will be direct because honestly, I don't have a lot of faith in Matt Reeves. I'll tell you, all the best parts. I'm sorry, I know a lot of you love the Batman. Please, I hope you still view and don't unsubscribe just because I have opinions. But the Batman, the only best parts of it were plagiarized from other movies. And all the stuff that is supposed to be Batman was wrong. I think you got every important aspect of Batman wrong.
Yeah, no. I shouldn't say no, because I agree with you. I've rewatched the movie a couple of times, and I'm just like, this isn't Batman. This is, maybe you want to call it the Shadow, right? He's
the Shadow. But he does a bad Bruce Wayne. He clearly doesn't understand Bruce Wayne. Batman in it just loses all the time in it. I don't understand what he's doing in the movie. Batman's using the doors and knocking on doors to talk to people. It's just nonsense.
I enjoyed the movie. I just, I enjoyed it the same way I enjoy single issues in What If, where I'm like, oh, okay, so that's what would happen.
Exactly. Like, I liked it. I'm glad it's not the status quo. But liked it for one night. It kept me warm for one night. Shaolin says, that was one dark. And then Matt says, you tell me Anne Hathaway trained so hard to not know how to really fight? Yeah, she was sucked. She was
so bad. There are so many problems with that last movie, The Dark Knight Rises, and I just feel like people have nostalgia colored lenses on when they look at that movie.
I love it, but it has nothing to do with the action. It has to do with like psychological stuff.
It's all bad.
Matt says the Batman sucked. Shaolin says the only good part of the Batman was the intro. Yes, absolutely. Like I said, there's a lot of cool stuff in it, and I feel like I think it's plagiarized from other sources.
Yeah, 100%.
I think that when Matt Reeves, here's what it is. Oftentimes in the sequels, they take a director who's been successful and they take him off their leash, and which means Matt Reeves is going to be free to make mistakes. And then all these people who are like worshiping at the foot of the Batman will then see what garbage is.
Garbage.
And I will be there to laugh at them.
Now, I'm going to sound like a hypocrite. I enjoyed the Joker, right? And it's not the Joker at all, right?
It's definitely not the Joker.
It's not the Joker at all. But I enjoyed that movie. I was like, oh, wow, this is really well put together. It was very highbrow, and I was like, oh, this is cool. It's cool. But I'm looking forward to James Gunn bringing continuity to this whole thing, man. It's what they lacked, right? Run your own race, make it make sense. Those are my only asks for DC. Run your own race. You're not going to catch up to Marvel. and make it make sense, dude. Just focus on.
I don't know if
putting
he's
that
going to make it make
quality.
sense. And so let's continue on our little journey through this.
All
So let's talk about their dealings with women. So I would like to point out. So you're telling me you're taking Wonder Woman and you're degrading her to a television show? What is that?
No, well, wait. Is it one? He's not degrading Wonder Woman. He's making a television show about the Amazons, about Paradise Lost.
She should have a movie.
No, but it's not about Wonder Woman. It's about the Amazons.
She should have a movie.
And why? Why should the Amazons? Why should the Amazons have a movie?
This is clear. James Gunn clearly hates women.
You know what? By today's standards, that is clear. If I'm using that line of logic, it's clear.
I just think it's odd. I think it's an odd choice. I think, like I said, they already had some scripts for that show Amazon that they never produced and that they always said they were going to make for us. And they're sitting around it, and he's like, "Let's make this." I think that's what literally. Yeah, he needed to bolster this picture right now, and he's like, "Let's make this." And they're like, "What about Green Lantern?" He's like, "Yeah, we'll make that too."
Right.
Reeves doesn't understand Batman. I don't even think he likes Batman. I would agree with you on that. Matt also says it's a Wonder Woman show with our Wonder Woman. DOA not interested. So yeah, it's not going to be. Here's what's crazy: to appease the fans of the beautiful, indelible Gal Gadot, they made her the producer, so she's running the show.
What? I did not catch that.
Yeah,
what?
It's going to be produced by her. So he's letting her produce a Wonder Woman. The Wonder Woman show or the Paradise Lost show.
Oh no.
And so I'm just like, but she's not going to be Wonder Woman. Obviously they're going to get some younger chick. Matt says if there's no scissoring and muck diming in the Amazon show, I'm out. I want to see them Paradise listed in the badge. Paradise Lost in the badge is I think what it meant, but ladies says what? Yes, Gal has not been fired. She's been given producing. She's a producer of Paradise Lost. That's what he said. Next, their next treatment of women. Supergirl, the Woman of Tomorrow.
Obviously, a play on words for the Superman Man of Tomorrow.
Man of Tomorrow, which should have been the name of Henry Cavill's sequel. That's why it's, this project is slapping me in the face every time I fucking hear that name, because that should have been Henry Cavill's movie, The Man of Tomorrow.
You're so toxic. You're such a messiah.
I'm one of those toxic fans, man. Snyder Cut forever.
This is gonna be a miss for me. Like, right? I don't care about Supergirl, no matter who produces it or directs it. You know, unless someone like you tells me, like, hey, I watched this Supergirl show. It's amazing. Check it out. I don't give a fuck about this. But
it's a movie. I think they're doing movie.
Okay, so that's the only fail from this. They're following the same mistake as Marvel.
And this is why I don't understand. Wonder Woman doesn't get a movie, but Supergirl does. And I don't think Supergirl is the get that they think it is.
No. Every Supergirl is their version of Captain Marvel, right? They revamp it, they rebrand it, they re-release it, they make different versions of it, Power Girl, all that bullshit. And they just don't understand. It's not because people are sexist. This character sucks. That's the bottom line. Like, no one cares about the B version of Superman. But here's the real question, Mantis. You're shitting on all this stuff. I know for a fact you're going to be there day one.
You say that about everything. No, I've stopped being a day one simp. I'm not a day one simp anymore. Lady says she was a great Wonder Woman. Such a waste. Absolutely. To date, they have not done good on a good Supergirl. Fucking dumb.
No.
Yeah,
it's completely idiotic.
No, you think I'm no? So, it's way too early for Supergirl. Supergirl does not deserve her own movie. That's ridiculous. Or currently,
right.
Here's what I don't understand why this wasn't his main thing. I think he got me with The Brave and the Bold.
Okay.
Here's what it is. I am so fascinated by this movie, and that's why I started theory crafting. And I was like, it's based on Grant Morrison's run. What can we expect? And I was like, oh my God, Dick Grayson was the dude in there. And so it becomes a whole thing. It's taken on a life of its own. But that's a Batman movie I will show up for opening day.
Okay.
But the thing is, Superman seems like the same old crap, right? And no Wonder Woman. And honestly, there were just 3 movies she should have had crazy descriptions of. It should have been a crazy Superman movie, a crazy Batman movie, and a crazy Wonder Woman movie. And those
Trinity.
3 movies, the Trinity holds up the rest of DC.
Right.
Another thing I would have done is I would have given the Teen Titans movie.
Yeah, you know what? I'm with that for sure.
It's
Absolutely.
such a valuable property to not give them live action. It's ridiculous.
No, I'm with that for sure. I'm sorry, man. I'm completely all over the place, but I just realized something. The Aquaman movie. I can't see the name of it. What is the name of the movie? It's Aquaman
and the Lost Kingdom.
Okay, so here's my issue, right? How does that come out after the universe reset? It doesn't make any sense. That part does not make any sense.
Well, okay, so in their defense, because they keep doing reboots and rewrites and all these fucking things, Aquaman was supposed to come out this Christmas.
Right.
And so it should already be out, but they pushed it back. So I don't know how they're going to fix any of this shit, you know?
I just watched Aquaman today with my son, and he loves that movie. And again, I think Black Adam is a better movie than Aquaman. I do. I'm sorry, bro. Black Adam is
I agree. I like Black Adam. I will defend Black Adam. I think if people are bandwagoners.
Yeah.
They're Kevin Feige dick suckers.
Wait, what does Kevin Feige have to do with this? You fucking hater.
People hate on DC, particularly Black Adam, because they're just like, I like Marvel, fuck DC, and they just don't give it a chance. You know what? I don't know if they're going to give this Slate a chance.
Bro, you somehow are going to find a way to shit on Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, and Black Adam's failure. I know it's coming. Somehow you're going to make that comparison. If you weren't before, I definitely gave you your in right now for that.
You gave me the idea too. Matt says the first phase is called Gods and Monsters, but who has more gods and monsters than Wonder Woman? Supergirl should have waited. I agree with that.
I agree with that.
Starring that comment. Lainey says this list is like, oh, CW failed terribly doing all these shows. Let's turn them into shittier movies.
Agreed.
Absolutely. Is Aquaman still Jason Momoa? He is.
Yes,
he is. He will stay on. Apparently, they want to still work with Ezra Miller's The Flash, which is like crazy.
Wait, so here's the thing, man. I see Swamp Thing up there. So you remember the controversy from a few years back surrounding Swamp Thing? It's amazing that they brought it back, though, bro.
It's not going to be a series. It's going to be a movie.
Yeah. Now, you remember all the bullshit we went through? Like, fans love Swamp Thing, but no one watched it. Critics hated it, and DC said, "Fuck it."
Wait, hold on. In the comments, Shellen says Aquaman was awesome, and I don't care. And Laney says, "I'm with you, Shellen." Yeah, I know. I don't get it wrong. He was just talking about Black Adam being better than Aquaman. I do like Black Adam better than Aquaman, but I do love Aquaman.
Aquaman is a great film.
Great film. Okay.
Great film.
But yeah, I don't understand. Do you honestly think they're going to be able to get like a lot of money from a Swamp Thing movie? Like, let's think about that.
No, I don't. I don't, man. I think Swamp Thing should get the same treatment as Man Thing and Werewolf by Night. He's a character that, like, I know how important he is, but I don't know if I need to see like a movie, right? You know, like I don't need to live through that. You know,
Swamp Thing series was so good, canceled too soon. I actually never
Way
saw
too
it.
soon. Way too soon.
I never fucked with it. And so that we've touched about pretty much on all of these properties, but I got to tell you, I don't see a strong foundation here. Unless here's what I'm saying. Obviously, we got to see them to know what they're really packing.
Right.
But like,
Pause.
It says Aquaman 2 will make $1 billion. Mark my words. Here's
okay.
Well, you know what he did fix?
What?
He originally cut these movies off on the throats. because we all thought that these were the end of the DC, and so I was like, why do I want to watch Aquaman 2 if I know this is the last one?
Yeah.
And all these things. But if these guys go on, then I guess there's more reason to watch them, right?
I guess so. I mean, the thing I disliked most about the Aquaman movies was Black Manta. You're the guy who put me on to Black Manta as a character. You're like, no, you need to pay attention to this guy. He's really dope. So after all of that, reading his arcs, studying up on Black Manta, he's my low point in the Aquaman film. But at the same time, I could see why they want to keep Jason Momoa around, right? It's, he's a star. He has draw power. People love him, and I think he did great as Aquaman. I really do. I really think he pours himself into that role.
He's so fun to watch on screen. He always plays like a cool guy. You want to see him win.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Matt says, "Can you explain the Authority to me? I have no clue." Okay, so the Authority are a team that are mostly made up of characters who are not parodies, but like very similar to Justice League characters. Like, for instance, their Superman is a blonde jack dude named Apollo, and he gets his powers from the sun, and he's super strong and flies and all these things. And then their Batman is called the Midnighter, and instead of a cape, he wears a trench coat, and he has like the Batman mask, but no ears, and he's like a violent dark vigilante. And then like they were eventually made in Wildstorm comics. DC Comics would eventually buy Wildstorm, but they were originally from Wildstorm Comics, and they were here to make fun of the Justice League. And so all of their members are kind of like a Justice League character, and however, they're super edgy and super dark. However, they're super leftists. So it's not like it is kind of like the boys that go around killing and stuff, but they have a cause. Like, for instance, they'll go to dictatorships and they'll murder the dictator and liberate the people. And they're all about being hippies, and it's really strange. Well, but eventually in the comic books, in a comic book series, graphic novel called Authority, Coup d'etat, they overthrow the American government because they determine that the American government is bad for the people.
Love it.
And so that's why they're called the Authority, because they're the Authority. So they're basically the Justice League if they were really if they went against governments and tried to fix the world. But it's important to note that all their characters have leftist philosophies.
Well, I mean, they're extremists for sure, right? They see the Justice League as a half measure, right? And they always come in and they do what needs to be done. They are, in fact, I think that's a correct comparison. Like, they're not as dumb as what is the boys' version of the Justice League called? What do they call themselves? That team?
Oh, what do they call? What do those guys call themselves? I forget.
At any rate, like the Authority, they're willing to do what they have to do, which is why I agree with your sentiment and your statement about them being leftist, because their progressive views are just like, hey, we gotta kill everyone. But here's the thing, Mantis, right? Let's land this thing right now, right? Let's land it. This was not a bad Slate release. I checked the thermometer, see how people were responding to it. I think James Gunn landed this thing very well. I'll give him a 7 out of 10.
Oh, wow.
The presentation.
I'll give it a 5. He says the 7. No, I think he's talking about the other. Sure, the 7 are clearly the Justice League. Right. But you were talking about that other team, right?
No, I wanted to know the name of the boys' team. Yes, okay. The 7.
Lady says, also, I kind of be excited for the Teen Titans as long as it's done well. I legit always wanted to be Raven, right? I mean, wouldn't it be cool to see her in good live action, not like the show? Wait. Did I miss the talk about the Flash? Did they recast? No.
No.
They said they're excited to work with him.
Yeah, James Gunn said, literally, quote, he loves the Flash movie.
Which I'm sure it is a great movie. Everyone keeps saying it's really great. But also for the Authority, did I mention that their Batman and Superman are gay for each other?
What?
In the Authority, Apollo and Midnighter, who are their version of Superman and Batman,
Yeah. Okay.
are gay lovers, and they eventually adopt a baby girl. And it's almost like Modern Family, where they're like raising a baby girl while they're being superheroes. It's a zany comic. It's a very zany comic.
It is.
Wildstorm, the company that originally it was very edgelord.
Oh my god!
Indie.
It was the 90s. It was the Image.
It was coming out of Image, and then when DC bought the company, they absorbed all their characters into the DC universe.
Yeah. Actually, shout out to DC. They're bringing back Wildcats proper in the DC universe.
Oh, I always love the Wildcats.
Yeah, so they've been a part of the property for quite some time, but now they're rolling them out in the main continuity of DC Comics. So let me ask you a question. While I can remember this, James Gunn promised us that the continuity would consist of anything happening in the games is going to relate to the movies. We're going to use the same actors if we can. What are your thoughts on that type of stuff right there?
I really do think he should have just gutted everyone and started from fresh.
Oh boy!
Here's what I'm saying. Yeah, and another thing I would have done is I would have I don't know. I guess I got to see the Brave and the Bold, but I would have also forced Matt Reeves to give me his Batman. I would have been like, you can direct the next movie, but he's in my universe. I'm going to use him.
You hate that movie. Why would you want it in your universe?
You know what? I think if here's what I'm saying. Other directors should be able to use him so they can fix him.
Okay.
Yeah, but I once again, I'm like YouTuber X. I don't like the idea of two characters, them making movies of two characters at the same time. It like makes no sense to me. It's weird. It's competitive. It's just basically you need to have one game plan or not.
Okay,
this looks like multiple game plans to me.
I dig it. I can dig that.
You know, edgelord. Who doesn't like being edged?
I don't. Let's finish the job. Let's finish the job.
Oh, Wildcats. Yeah. So this is our slate. This is what they're doing. Are you happy?
Yes, I was happy with the release and the rollout. I'm more enthusiastic about where DC's going as a company because at least I know there's a direction at this point. So it's easy to go from shit to this and be impressed. And James Gunn, we trust as of right now. I do have to give you a shout out, man, because right after the shit aired, the tweet you wrote right afterwards was amazing. It was like 2 seconds after it aired, and you're like, "This is cool, but still." Hashtag James Gunn.
Hashtag fire James Gunn. Oh, that man, he will forever burn me up, man.
Well, let me ask you a question. Peripheral to this whole thing, do you think if Guardians 3 sucks, people are going to be less enthused about this?
So here's what I'm really interested in. Here's what it is. James Gunn will make a decent movie, but one of the things that I notice he likes to do is he will completely rewrite characters and not respect their origins or their comic book personas to get a movie done the way he wants. Right. You know, I loved both of the first Guardians, and I love the Christmas special. I think he makes a good movie. I like Suicide Squad. I think he makes a good movie. I doubt it's going to be a bad movie. The real question that I have is the fire James Gunn thing that's still hashtags, it still trends, you know, is that big enough to lower his box office significantly on Guardians 3? Will someone who wants him fired actually boycott, or are they just talking a big game on the internet?
Most people are talking a lot of shit. Because unlike you, a lot of people are still going to go see this movie. You know, they're going to see these movies day one and watch these shows. If not for content reasons, no, I don't think they have the balls not to be involved.
I'll tell you how much I don't like James Gunn.
Wow.
I've been pouring radioactive waste into his drinking water so that when him and that blonde girl have children, they're going to have 2 heads. And then I'm going to take a picture of them, put it on the internet, and say hashtag fire James Gunn. Boom. There you have it.
You're a sick man. You're a sick man.
Yo, no one messes with my Caval. You understand?
I get it. I get it now for sure. I understand.
Oh man, okay. But that was so crazy. We were waiting so long for this. We were waiting. Maybe that's why I was so unexcited about it. I've been waiting.
So you would say you were completely underwhelmed by the rollout?
Maybe not completely. Like I said, I like this Brave and the Bold thing because it will give me a Batman that I can respect, and then I obviously like the Authority. But the rest just kind of looks like meat and potatoes DC stuff.
Okay. I can respect that. I can dig it.
That actually says, do you have faith in James Gunn? Here's what I'm saying. I will, and I know this sounds like just big talk, but I will admit if I'm wrong. I know you don't believe this, but I will admit if I'm wrong if these movies are good. If he has a universal like structure and it's working, I will be like, okay, I will eat my hat.
Okay. We'll all be here for that episode when Mantis produces a hat he never wears and eats it.
How do you feel about this Gods and Monsters being the theme of Phase 1? I think it's just I think it's like a cool name. I don't think it really
right.
It certainly doesn't relate back to that animated movie they did. Do you remember this movie?
Yes, I do. Now, I didn't watch it. Doesn't really appeal to me.
It was good. It was decent, but once again, it's an Elseworld story where they're like, it's Zod instead of Superman, and
who gives a fuck? Let's talk about something that I know is near and dear to your heart. The Last of Us.
The Last of Us. Let's talk about this episode
3.
The episode they said you're gonna love or hate. It might chase you away from the franchise, and that was code for it being gay. Right.
So on the gay barometer, I gave this a 2. I just saw an episode where they gave some backstory for some more expository stuff going on within the character continuity. I actually enjoyed this episode, man. It was not overtly anything.
It wasn't overtly anything. Yes, it happened to be about two gay men, but it's really about a relationship. It's about holding on to the old world. Right. It's about a lot of things, actually. Like, I found it interesting that these men, the world had to end before they could be themselves. Although we don't know what Frank was probably ganging out all the time.
Yeah, but he was like hanging out outside the Home Depot grabbing day laborers type shit, you know.
He was very open, but what's his face couldn't, Bill couldn't be himself in the real world, and now he finally can. And that was sweet, but it was a sweet story. It certainly was sad.
Great episode, man.
It was a great episode. And here's where I sound like a hater. Good episode, but once again, people are acting on the internet like this has changed the game or this is new. A couple loving each other during the end of the world and having to kill each other is not new in the zombie.
No, it's not new, but I gotta say it was masterfully done, man. I thought the episode and just watching Bill develop as a character, because that's not in the game. Like, so just so you know, and in the actual game, it's only alluded to that there was a romantic relationship.
Right. Bill is alive when they meet up with him, and they find Frank dead later on.
Yes.
And so they did change that. But once again, I'm a poser. I'm just someone who's watched all the cutscenes on Twitch.
Right. You're not a poser.
Yeah. And so I never actually played the game. I know the major story beats and those cinematics. Because it's great. It's kind of cool. It's kind of cool that video games nowadays you can watch like movies.
Absolutely. Right? But here's the thing, right, man? So like I told you before the show, episode gave me a lot of anxiety, man. The shot of Joel and what's her face walking up and seeing the skeletons, and it's like clearly a mother skeleton embracing a baby skeleton. That shit fucked me all the way up. There's one thing I cannot watch.
Yeah, children getting hurt.
Yes, I can't do it, bro. I can't do it. And that's the parent in me for sure. That's the parent in me.
And I have a feeling. It's interesting. I was pissed at episode 2. It's another reason I'm a hater, because I really love Anna Tove, who played his girlfriend.
Right.
But I bet you anything they're going to keep giving us flashbacks with her, because we have to drive home like he has a heart somewhere in there.
Right.
And I think we're going to see more of her, which makes me feel better about the whole situation. But I was like, you killed her in the second episode? Like, what the F?
Well, she dies pretty early on in the game as well.
Right. Oh, right. But once again, these guys play fast and rules with the continuity. They don't have to stick to anything.
No. Here's the crazy thing. In regards to Tessa's death in the show and in the game, she dies nearly the exact same way.
She's fighting humans though in the game.
Yeah, that difference, and then the fact that you have to fight a lot more infected, right, is the major difference. But I thought this episode was great, man. How many people think that their neighbor is some crazy survivalist? And it turns out that guy's right.
I love it that Ellie calls him a genius. She's like, oh, he was a genius. Like, as he foresaw the end of the violence. And we look at these people like psychos, right?
Right. But this guy was ready. He was ready for war.
Yeah. Matt says, I've never played the game. I like this episode, but they need to bring the zombies into the next episode. Yes, I'm hoping that episode 4 is a total action-packed. I absolutely agree. Yeah. I hope they bring in bloaters. The big one, the big freak out.
Yeah. One. I think it's still too early, but I think episode 4 is going to be action-packed because now we're going to be dealing with something that I love about The Last of Us, which is the human element, right? I love that in this episode, Joel was like, hey, they're coming. The Raiders. You don't have to worry about the government, but the Raiders are coming.
Yeah.
and absolutely, when we got that portion of the show, seeing Bill out there fighting the Raiders, I thought that was masterfully done, man.
And look at what Matt says. I just want to say Frank got Bill shot with those Raiders. He distracted him. It is true. He didn't become vulnerable till Frank ran out, and he looked back at him. He was like, yo, blah, 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 get inside. And then he got shot. I was like, damn.
That's why I tell my wife, don't try to help. Stay in the house. Stay in the house.
That's the thing about women. And so if we still have any women in the chat right now, I'm not sure if we are. They're suspiciously silent. I'm going to complain about you. You ever notice how they always want to help and you're like, you'll just be in the way. Please don't. And they do it anyway.
Yes.
And I'm like, no, I'll fix the tire. I don't need your help out here. And then they go out and they're trying to touch stuff. And you're like, you're in my way. The best way you can help is get out of my way. So
don't get in the bullet shot.
Yeah. So basically, when your woman comes out, Steve, no offense, bro, you're going to get shot.
No. Yeah, probably. Probably.
Matt says, I really like when Joel was like, and get that gun out of my face.
Yo, that was great. He's like, I understand where you're coming from. If mine did this, I'd be upset too. But by the way, get that gun out of my face. I love the interactions between Bill and Joel. So I gotta say this though. I do have to say this, and I can't get into too much detail because I'm not going to reveal what's happening because this is a spoiler for the end of the video game. Right. But there's a surprise, or what is supposed to be a surprise for the video game about how it ends, about what the ending is of the first one. And I have to say, I was not surprised at all. And I just figured that that was the first thing that went in my mind. Well, just spill it. What are you talking about? And so Matt or anyone else in chat who may not have played the video game, is it all right if we talk about the finale of the first video game? Because this is something that's been this has bothered me for since the first one came out. Okay. Just let us know if you don't want the spoilers. If you care about spoilers, please let us know. I'll be back in 2 minutes. Okay, we'll get 2 minutes starting now. Yeah. Okay. So at the end, it's news to Joel that they're going to cut her open and kill her to make a cure. Oh yeah. And I knew that from the beginning when I was doing watch-alongs. I was like, of course, that's what scientists do. Right. When you're a guinea pig, they're probably going to do a lot of tests on you when you're alive, but they're eventually going to dissect you and check everything in your organs and everything. But however, it was a shock to him and a shock to the audience. Most people are like, I didn't see it coming. I'd be like, what do you think handing a little girl over to scientists is? Yeah, down to the bone marrow. That's what they need to get. Yes, that's what they're going to do. They're going to down to the genes. They're going to look at everything about her and what makes her different. Hello, Rogue Radio. Welcome in. lot of great stuff going on in this episode, especially the Mortal Kombat WB reference. I love because in the game they could not reference Mortal Kombat
It
because
was
of
like a different game. I don't remember what game it
yeah,
was.
yeah, the turning. It was called the turning or some shit like
But
that.
it was cool. It was cool that she talked about Melina.
Yeah. That was
Melina's my girl. I love Melina.
lame character.
Honestly, Steve, we're gonna duke it out one of these days, man. On Mortal Kombat. You may own the streets, but I own the mortal.
You know what? You might possibly be a better Mortal Kombat player than me, man.
Like I said, you own the Street Fighter, but Mortal Kombat, says Rogue. Okay, I'm back.
I really thought this episode was amazing, man. I thought everything was well shot. I thought the dialogue, the pacing, everything about this was great. I was taken back. I was coming to this episode hating it.
I absolutely loved it. I really do think it's weird. People on the internet must not. It's weird because they're on the internet. There's a lot of people who kept saying, if you're anyway homophobic, you're not gonna be able to deal with this thing. This isn't very gross or weird or you know what I'm saying?
Bro, I saw a Geeks and Gamer post where maybe it was Geeks and Gamers. I don't want to put that on them, but where they put up a picture of Brokeback Mountain as the thumbnail for this episode, and I was like, "What the fuck?" I'm like, "Is it that? Is it that for real?"
Brokeback Mountain, that'll scar you. No. Matt, it's all good. I'm not going to tell you what the big reveal is. We are done talking about that part, but you know, it's good to have you back. Rogue Radio says Jade is my favorite character. I got a lot of favorite Mortal Kombat characters, but Melina is one of my all-time favorite. I love her.
So in regards to the episode, right? So things that were done well. Pedro Pascal is amazing. The young lady who plays in this show is also amazing.
Hell yeah.
This show really is showing us how you can be true to the source material and build on it correctly. Because everything they put in here, all this expository dialogue and plot, it was done extremely well. Like I gotta give them a 10 out of 10. I cared about these characters, and obviously in the game, you can't do this because no one wants to go through that type of character development in the game. But this shit was done well, bro. It was done well.
Matt says the zombies make me itch every time they show up. Absolutely, they are just gross. I will say this. I guess you can never recapture the video game because like they're not really the actors, they're fictionally generated people. But I liked Ellie in the video game better than the show. But I guess you can't replicate that. You know, that's
no. You're very shallow in that regard. You're trying to say that Ellie in the game is better looking than the actress who plays the character. That's what you're saying. That's what you're saying. Mantis hates ugly people. He said it on here multiple times.
Because there is a whole thing that a lot of times cute children will not grow up to be attractive adults, and that's what's happening. Because this little girl, when she was littler, played Lyanna Mormont on Game of Thrones.
Right.
A little bear. She's a little bear or whatever. She was so adorable.
Amazing. Ferociously adorable.
Now that she's a teenager. I don't know what's going on there.
Mantis is like, I'm worried about her future.
Oh yeah, I think she might have some genetic problems, but that's none of my business. Matt says Ellie playing with that zombie and then stabbing it makes me believe she's a crazy person. I think that she wants to grow up, and what do grown-ups do in her world? They kill zombies, right? And I'll say what's even fascinating. They keep going on about how little she knows about the world because she never experienced the real world. So, like, for instance, she said driving in a car is like a spaceship to her. Because, like, she can't fathom the things that we experience in a normal civilization. Like, she couldn't believe that people fly in airplanes. That's foreign to her. So she only lives in this zombie world. And I think she's just kind of trying to become an adult, as a lot of young kids want to prematurely grow up, right? And so I think that's what that was trying to show me. I don't think they were trying to show her that she was like a psychopath or anything. But yeah, I was just saying how crazy it is that Ellie didn't live in a world with planes or cars, and so it's also magical to her.
Yeah, I did really enjoy that portion where she saw the crash carrier jet, and I also really enjoyed when she got into the car. Like,
Yeah,
I
she was
did that
amazed by the
extremely well.
car. And then
Go for it.
I think it's also cool that like all the music is old.
Yes. But here's my big takeaway from the episode, right? Treat your preppers, survivalist neighbors, that weird guy that lives on the cul-de-sac that has overly grown beard. Treat them with respect. Imagine if that guy lives next to you, man. He might tell you, hopefully, if you've been nice to him, hey, why don't you come over for tea today? Maybe not go to the evacuation party so you and your baby don't end up in a pit of death. Right?
Yeah. Bring him a gift. Bring him a gift. Occasionally bring him
yeah, pumpkin pie.
Pumpkin pie or whatever. Hang out with the guy.
He's an amazing cook. Apparently knows what wines go well with rabbit. Not my favorite type of meat. Pause. I thought the episode was great, man. I think these 3 episodes have all been well done, man. They've just been well done. And this might be the second successful gaming adaptation. Sonic, to my recollection, Sonic the movie is the first gaming adaptation that was done in a way I was like, well, I can enjoy this.
Even though it's not like the video game at all, it was good shit.
It was good shit. I mean, I know a lot of people would say, what about the first Silent Hill movie? That was good, but it was like Sci-Fi Channel on steroids good. It wasn't
I actually never saw the Silent Hill one.
Really? Go watch it. It's actually it's like the best thing you've ever seen on Sci-Fi that was never made on Sci-Fi. I will say this. Go for it.
No, you do your thing.
I will say this about this episode, man. For all the people who tried to portray it in a way where it was just going to be a bunch of I just got to speak freely, LGBTQ propaganda. It's not that. It really is a show about relationship dynamics. It's really good.
Yeah. Rogue Radio says, Steve, talk to me when you've tried rattlesnake meat.
I can't do it, but I've eaten possum before, and I was like, man, I'll never speak to my family from the South ever again. I'm sorry, not possum, raccoon. And I was like, I'll never talk to these people again. Ever.
Yo, let me ask you, rattlesnake meat, how do you not get poisoned by that?
You cook out the venom that's in,
Oh, wow. That must be scary to eat. I would think that would be scary to eat.
Don't trust me as a professional, but, same way when you cook shrimp, you have to remove the shit and the innards. Yeah, same principle.
Hazards to everything. Yes. But I was going to change the topic so that we have a little time to talk about it because I wanted to make a comment on it.
Oh boy.
But this is like a serious topic, and so
very
we're
serious,
changing the energy. It's very serious, and it's the killing by 5 police officers of Tye Nichols. And so in the chat, we're gonna have opinions. Feel free to have opinions. You're absolutely feel free to have opinions. Right. We will not shit on you for whatever you have to say. No. First I gotta say is rest in peace, Tyree.
R.I.P.
That's absolutely crazy. So I take it you've seen the video.
I have not watched the video. I don't need to go through all of that stuff, man. I know based on recaps how brutal it is. Young man Tye Nichols, obviously from California. I think he was born in Sacramento, was down in Memphis, if I have it correctly, and was had an encounter with the Memphis PD, an actual unit down there, kind of like the Rampart division of the Memphis.
Right.
And the young man was beaten to death. Now, I just want you to, not beaten to death, but I want you to take that in for a second. Take that in for a second.
So here's actually, to me, the most disturbing part of the video. It's not a police beating. It's an old school jumping.
Yeah,
they're taking turns holding him. And one officer will have a chance to beat him, and then they switch off.
Yeah.
That is like what they did in the schoolyard back in the day.
Yeah, it was like he got beat up by a bunch of thugs, and the cops who beat him were absolute animals, man. And I know it throws a monkey wrench in a lot of narratives that they were all black cops that are being prosecuted at this point. But bro, they were calling him a bitch, and they were stomping on him.
So, and I have a little bit of a conspiracy theory, and I don't know if this is going to get us in trouble or whatever. But this is just a rumor that's circulating, and it hasn't made the news yet, or I don't think it has. And so Matt says, I thought it was hard when he's yelling mom. Yes, that was so hard. Because that was the guy you could tell he had brain damage at that point, and he was just saying shit, and he's yelling for the mom. And it's like, so the word on the street is that it is possible that one of those officers used to date Tyree's girlfriend.
No,
and it was like some sort of revenge beating.
Like a girl he was dealing with in Memphis?
Yeah. That they were like, fuck this. And so they interfered. And so that's what the word on the street is. And I'm waiting for this to be revealed. And maybe it's not. Maybe they're going to look into it and it's not true. But I hope the police and the state aren't that idiotic. But that's what made me think that it's very possible, because it looked like it was a schoolyard jumping. Because all the beatings I've seen, and obviously we've seen a lot at this point, cops have billy clubs and beating a guy on the ground. That's a different type of beating.
Yeah.
These guys were making it personal with their fists.
So here's my thing, man. There's so many different narratives you can go with, right? And Mantis and I were talking about this the other day. You know, what's the brother's name who got killed for jogging in Atlanta, got chased down?
And those hillbillies took him out.
Yeah, I put this on that level, right? So you can't go to the narrative of he had a criminal history or any of that bullshit. What happened was completely wrong. It was completely wrong. And these officers, this department is wrong. And sometimes, and I'm a person who supports the police, right? But I do think there's an issue in regards to response. I know that you only have a millisecond to respond when someone has something that looks like a gun on them, right? But in this instance, there's nothing like that, right? There's nothing like that.
I'm going to back your statement right now. I feel your statement. That sometimes we are hypercritical of a cop he's like, drop it. And the guy has like a sandwich.
Right.
But in the dark, it might not, to a cop, might not look like a sandwich.
I understand that. I don't approve it, but I understand how there's that margin of error. But in this instance, none of that is present, right? And we're talking about a young man who was, murdered. They've already been fired from the PD. This isn't because people are burning down, Best Buy and Union Square and other places. This is because it's so obviously wrong, but at the same time, I agree with you. Like I feel as if though there had to be a personal element. If you're not black, you may not understand this. If you're not, you don't even have to be black. If you don't have family that lives in the South and you live in northern portions of the country, there is a disconnect from Southern life. And you lived in the Carolinas, you understand this. Sometimes we come down there as New Yorkers or people from Massachusetts, from the North, even California. And they're like, this uppity motherfucker right here.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Matt says, do you think the ambulance guy should have been fired?
Yes.
I don't know that detail. If you guys could share it with me. And then Matt says, yeah, I agree with you, Steve. I'm also supportive of the police. Yeah. I think the police take way too much flack nowadays. And trust me, I'm not saying that there aren't bad apples and bad people and messed up people who need to be fired and arrested and all that shit.
100%.
That's absolutely a thing. But I think that this crazy idea that they take those few newscasts and be like, well, that's everyone in uniform. I'm like, think about how many people defend us.
Well, here's my official stance.
The streets, you know what I mean?
Here's my official stance when it comes to the police as a department, I don't even want to call it a job. It's a calling, right? Same thing I believe about the military or lawyers or doctors or teachers. It's a calling. You are taking up the highest ethical calling in the country. This should not be a job. It should be for the most qualified people. It's funny that we get into these conversations about affirmative action and quotas, et cetera, but I believe the police 100%. That is a job where only the best should be called to. I'm sorry.
I don't think the best, but you mean best in terms of like heart.
Best as in regards to character, best as in regards to capability. Yes, the best. But here's the crazy thing.
I thought you meant most elite. Like I'm like,
no. I mean the people who understand the station of the job. You're taking, no.
And so I'll say this, and it's funny we were just talking about zombie stuff. Like I'll say Rick from Walking Dead,
right?
Because he actually was a good man. He's a good man and he's a cop and he tries to do the right thing and stuff like that. Like
you don't want a bunch of.
We'd have a great world.
You don't want a bunch of Shanes on your police force, right? You don't want a bunch.
It's like who gave? I trust me. I am a Shane was right type of guy. However, who gave him a gun? I think he was right for a guy in the apocalypse. He's not right for a guy who's just a regular cop.
Exactly. Everyone loves Wolverine until he's your local authority, right? It's like, I'm the best at what it is I do, which is beating you down in any way, shape, or form. But this is horrible, man. It's a horrible thing. And I know that there are certain things like with the George Floyd incident that stick out in people's mind. George Floyd also famously called out for his mother, but this is it's different in a way for me. It's different. It's horrible.
It's just, I gotta say, I'm gonna be real with you guys. I did cry multiple times since seeing the video.
I can't watch it.
I've cried. I'm like, oh my god. And just imagine, even if he did do reckless driving, imagine if that was the end result, that you're driving home and you do something stupid,
right?
And then you get brutally beaten to death.
And bro, if I have it correct, when he ran, he was near his home. He almost made it back.
Yeah.
Way to go, Mantis. Way to go, bro. Way to bring down the street.
Well, I put it on the cover. I put it in the title. We had to talk about it. I didn't want to go through the episode without talking about it. We probably
absolutely, man.
Absolutely. I didn't want to do it at the beginning because then no one would have been in the chat.
Everyone jumps out.
Everyone jumps out. But it had to be talked about. I definitely wanted to give blessings and love to him and his family and everything going on. And hopefully, here's what I'm saying. There is no solution to the problem that is humans. That's sin. I'm going to talk like a Christian right now. That's sin. We're always going to have sin. There is always going to be people in power who misuse that power. People will be like, when are we going to cure this horrible problem like racism or police brutality? You will never. Because that is just the nature. It's the
nature of the human. I just want to give a quick down vote to the police chief out there in Memphis who got fired from being a police chief in Atlanta and then got brought back in. I forget the sister's name, but here's the deal with me in regards to policing. We'll always stand on this standard. If you don't understand that you being a representative of the law is the highest calling, you should not be in that job. And in this instance, when this young man was being beaten by these very important 4 black officers, right? Even though there were other officers of different races there, they abandoned the highest point of their station, right? If it turns out that he was dating a girl that one of them has some familiar relationships with, these are the people you don't want in these jobs, man. The screening process has to be better. I don't know how, but it has to
have a system where they catch these people quicker or figure out their whole shit. Because trust me, also the way they were doing it in the video did not look like that was their first time.
Bro, at one point he's pleading with them in a way where it just sounds so familiar. He's like, hey man, come on, this is not right. He's not like resisting and calling them bitches. He's literally saying it's not right. What's the problem? It's crazy.
It's hard, but I'm sorry to bring down the stream, guys. But you know what? I blame the world.
I blame general apathy and all those things. But this is as good a place to end the stream as any.
On a somber note,
guard yourself. Right? James Gunn is watching.
James Gunn isn't watching shit. Hopefully he gets pulled over tonight by 5 angry black cops. I'm sorry. That was tasteless. Where did that come from?
Oh my God.
I can't believe I just said that.
Oh my God.
Oh man. I love you all.
You're a monster. Listen, I got to be at work tomorrow, but I'm so happy to be here tonight. I just want to give a quick shout out. Tomorrow night, wait, no, what's today? Tuesday? No, Thursday night. Pillow Talk with the Pink Princess Bex over on Spoon. We're talking about what's your type. We don't know what your type is. Not you, Mantis. That's the topic of conversation, and I hope to see you all there.
Grady says, "I wish I was here earlier. Your presence is always divine. Thank you for stopping in. Great stream, you guys. Can't wait for the next one. Thank you, Matt. Yo, Matt, I want to have you on Rogue Planet again, man. We need to make that happen. We'll talk." Princess Beck says, hashtag fangirls for fanboys. Thank you so much. This has been another amazing episode of Fanboy Modeling School, found only on YouTube and only on the channel known as Fight Juice Online. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And of course, leave us some filthy comments. What do you think of the DCEU, Slate? And what do you think of the future of any of this stuff? What about The Last of Us? Did it turn you gay? Did it turn you gay? I know it turned me just a little. But yo, we love you guys. Until next time, ciao for motherfucking now.
Peace, bitches.